So over the last few months, I've been slowly but surely ticking off the mileage, building up to that first service. I bought the bike completely stock. I decided not to power up at that point off the recommendation of the boys at Sportax Racing. We said we'd consider it when we got to the service. Well, the service is here. I went out to tell you all about this and had no audio, so we'll just pick it up from here. So the next time you see me in this absolute beauty, we'll be at Sportax Racing, where we go and get powered up, baby. I'm hoping that it'll sound a bit better, because, yeah, it'll go a bit better. Not that it needs to, but, you know, what's 12 horsepower? 12 horsepower is 12 horsepower. What can you do about it? So, yeah, let's crack on, eh? So here we are, absolutely buzzing, down at Sportax, and it is service and, let me tell you, service power up kit exhaust. Work's already started, and honestly, the exhaust is so nice. The pictures and everything do not do this justice. All the little titanium bits, welds, and the weight of the thing, it must be, I don't know, 3 kilos less just in the downpipe, let alone the exhaust. So yeah, I'm so happy, I'm so excited, so annoyingly excited. So I'm going to try and document as much of this as I can, so enjoy a bit of exhaust fitting porn. So job number 1 of the day was to get it up on the ramp and take the original exhaust off. There was nothing wrong with this exhaust, absolutely fine, but it was just a little bit uninspiring. So Clive got to work. He was an absolute magician on the tools all day, removing these awkward headers. Now, I'm so pleased I didn't do this myself. It looked like a right job. They couldn't have made it more awkward, but check out this absolutely beautiful titanium exhaust. So I just sat back, enjoyed them, pieced it together, drank a couple of cups of tea, and before long it was ready to fire up.
Right, Clive, fire up now. Just need to turn it out. So there we go, a very successful day at Sportax Racing. The guys were awesome, they were super patient. They let me linger in the workshop all day, which was very nice. Very excited to see what it'll be like on the road, on a trail, in a real life situation. And I'm hoping, I go to Wales this weekend, I kind of don't want the first time I ride it to be on some greasy Welsh lane. I'd like to ride it more close to home, so I'm going to try and nip out tomorrow for a little bit and see if I can do that and show you how that happens. But mega day. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Clive. Top job, boys. Appreciate it. So, as you've seen there, I got powered up. All was magnificent. The guys at Sportax were brilliant. They were so helpful, and thank God I left it to those guys, because it was a fiddle. I'd have lost my temper about 20 times in the garage doing that on my own. So I'm really glad I went through with that, and it was worth it, because the guys were brilliant. They've got all the time in the world for me, so really pleased with that. So got it powered up, immediately went to Wales. You know, talk about baptism of fire, but it was great because I actually got to go out and use the bike in an environment with a bit of all sorts. It had low speed stuff, it had fast flowing stuff, so I could really feel the difference. Now, my initial impressions when I first got on it was that the power wasn't that different. I was just like, oh, this is very normal. But the more I've rode it and the more I've got used to it, the more I think actually it's made a huge difference to how the whole thing handles. So originally, while I had no issues with the bike and how it performed, it had its own niggles, and one of them was low speed stuff. So it turns like a ferry, this thing. Doesn't not like to turn in small spaces. So you're having to do a lot of fidgeting around on the clutch, or first gear, wobbling it around, and it just flamed out a lot all the time. And once I was trying to get up a little technical bit of rocks, nearly head-butted the screen. It sort of stalled on me on a rock. So I'd got that in my head. Well, that's gone. That has completely gone. The new map that went on it, along with the exhaust, has let the whole thing breathe so much better. So now, at that low end stuff, the little technical manoeuvrability, it's made the world of difference. I've got all the confidence now that I wanted. So that is the first thing I noticed. Now, when it comes to the power of the whole thing, like I said, at first I just thought, oh, this is like it was. But through the middle of the revs now, this thing rockets. If you leave it in gear and let the revs run a little bit, this thing now absolutely flies. And you know that playability you want when you're riding a bike, and the puddles coming up, you can see, you think, here's my opportunity to lift the front wheel and all that sort of stuff. It was a tiny bit dead before, not a problem anymore. This thing absolutely rips. Like I say, let the gears run on, let the revs build a little bit, and this thing just pulls and pulls, and it's brilliant. Love it now. So massive difference. Top speed wise, couldn't care less. Haven't really got into that. It pulls hard. I caught that, everyone. I actually caught that then, buzzing with that. As I was saying before I nearly killed my camera, the top speed stuff, I don't really care about that. I'm sure it's made a difference, but all the usable stuff, massive difference. So I'm super, super pleased with that. Completely lost my train of thought there. So next thing, noise. So yes, it's noisier. I find this sort of stuff so subjective. I think it's absolutely fine. Today I've been out, it hasn't bothered me at all. The old exhaust sounded, what's the best word for this? Terrible. It was like a little pea shooter. It was really, yeah, it was a bit uninspiring, let's just say. And now the thing sounds like you want it to sound. I didn't buy this bike to be super practical, did I? I bought it because it looks like a rally bike. I'm looking at it now, it looks like a rally bike and it's cool. And so it barking a little bit doesn't bother me at all. And I don't think it's too obnoxious anyway. The most noise you used to be able to hear on the roads was the tyres screaming their heads off on the tarmac. So I can't hear that anymore. All I get is exhaust notes. So yes, it's noisy. Would it bother me on a motorway all day? I think no. If you had plugs in or you had music on or whatever, I think it would be absolutely fine. I think it would be absolutely fine. For me, it isn't too much, but I understand that's a touchy subject. So the only negative that I've found so far on this is that the exhaust routing is just a little bit poor. It runs right at the bottom of that skid plate, absolutely fine, but there's minimal clearance there. And when you get onto the balls of your feet and drop your heels when you get off-road to try and get in a decent position, your heel touches the exhaust. Now that should never happen. That should be well out of the way. It should trail back a little further. You know, I'm no engineer, but to me, that should be sorted. I shouldn't be hitting my heel on that. And it is very, very close to that skid plate. I've uprated the skid plate a little bit. And if it hits anything major, the exhaust is going to get hammering. So all that beautiful, beautiful blue titanium will get damaged at some point. It's inevitable. I just hope it's not too bad. Talking of the looks of the thing, going back to what I said, sexy rally bike and all that sort of stuff, it looks amazing. It looks so cool. Like, immediately in Sportax, it came out as this beautiful titanium piece. By the way, the weight, it must have lost 4 kilos. I kid you not, when we held the headers and compared the two, it was night and day. Unbelievable difference there. So yeah, weight improvements will make a difference. I don't know. But the way the thing looks, once that thing had got heat in it, it started to take that lovely colour. I just loved it. The guys in the shop loved it, I loved it. It's amazing. The end pipe's cool. I dropped it in Wales, and the first thing I did was go and have a look at the exhaust. Such a tart, but I love it. I love the way it looks, and for me, it's only added to what I want to feel with the bike. I want to feel like it's a badass machine. So it's expensive, and that's the thing that hung me up on whether to do it or not when I was considering it, because it hurts you, doesn't it? It's like, ugh. But would I go back to how it was before? I mean, you could cope with it. No doubt in my mind you could cope with it. But I don't want to cope with it. That's the answer. I don't want to cope with it. I like it. And I would do it again. If you've got the disposable cash to do it, then do it. If you don't have the disposable cash, don't worry about it. The bike's still fantastic. You're still going to get loads of joy out of it, and it's going to be quieter, and it's going to be fine. But if you like me, want to have that like evoking feeling, and you like a bit of grunty noise and all the stuff that goes with it, then I think you'll love it. And like me, you'll be all over that. You'll be all over that. So in summary, it's made the biggest difference to me is the way the power comes. So leaving it in gear, running it on, the power is spread out so much more, really smooth, really, it's just predictable and nice and playful. And that's been a big difference. And that low speed stuff has been fantastic. No longer does it want to choke itself up. It can breathe now, and you feel that it's breathing. So that's the big thing for me. The rideability has been improved by spending the money, and I love it. I love it. So should you power up? You should power up. It's unnecessary, but you should do it regardless. Right, hope you enjoyed this. Look at this. The sun is just out, it's beautiful out here. So I'm gonna ride down there and then down there, and then I'm gonna come back down this lane, and I'm gonna have a wonderful time. Might even grab a 5 p.m. coffee, living life dangerously. So if you enjoyed this, don't forget, do the like, do the comment, do the subscribe, and I'll keep the stuff coming for you. All right, see you on the next one.